It's not even the end of 2023 yet, and we're already in a spot that kind of feels weird. Talking about Call of Duty not 2024, but 2025, with new reports coming out about the second year of Treyarch's run for their rumored 2-year cycle. Today we're running down the pretty big bombshell of a report, if you ask me, with plenty of implication for what the future holds. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoyed the video or find it at all insightful, and subscribe if you're new for more Call of Duty and other FPS content, especially if you're part of that 60% of viewers not subscribed. I'd love to have in the community. Finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for a 35% off discount of the best blue light glasses on the market with code ESPRESSO, but more on that a little later. For now, let's jump into this new report. So to catch you up to speed, Call of Duty this year and next year are part of, let's say, two seemingly larger developmental bubbles. It was first reported that Infinity Ward would take the reins for 2 years, giving us a Modern Warfare 2 Year 1 and Year 2. But obviously, for whatever reason, that didn't happen, and seemingly Infinity Ward was like, nah, I'm good. And then Sledgehammer had to step in and make Modern Warfare 3 as we have it now, as that sort of Year 2 offering. The same has been said, though of course we're not from the future to confirm, about Call of Duty 2024 and Treyarch's next title, currently rumored to be Black Ops Gulf War, filling in the gaps a bit more between the original Black Ops and Black Ops 2, with that 50 to 60 year gap between the titles. Cold War set in the 80s, Gulf War set in the 90s following the same named conflict. That's the current rumor for 2024 at least. It was also reported that Year 2 of that would feature remasters of Black Ops 2's maps in 2025, following suit for the real-world counterpart to when the game was set when it launched over a decade ago, similar to how we had Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps launch with Modern Warfare 3's launch here this year. And that's where we're up until, well, yesterday. In a report from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, whose track record has been great and who shifted to covering way more games than just COD accurately, he put out an article entitled Call of Duty 2025 is a semi-futuristic Black Ops 2 sequel, stating Insider Gaming understands that Call of Duty 2025 is currently in development as a direct sequel to Black Ops 2. Being set around 2030, Black Ops 2 is set in 2025. As such, fans should expect the return of some fan-favorite protagonists as the team faces a new villain following the death of Menendez. As previously rumored, Black Ops 2 remastered maps will be coming to the game, but recent plans and the scope of the game have changed significantly, mentioning the changes from a similar remastered project was likely adjusted because of the reception of what we saw with Modern Warfare 3 and how people really just saw it as a DLC. Tom then further detailed, speaking on other specific details on Call of Duty 2025, which are heavily in flux due to the game's early development stage, 22 months away as of the time of writing. It's understood that the game is also slated to have an overhaul to its movement system, the return of the classic Pick 10 create a class, the gunfight mode, and another year of round-based zombies. It's currently unclear if the carry forward from Call of Duty 2024, named Black Ops Gulf War, will be incorporated due to the significant time jump and change to the game's overall strategy. This is a completely new game, it was said, suggesting that the game may not. So, a lot to unpack there, absolutely. Firstly, gameplay oriented, it's cool to hear the mention of the return of things like Pick 10, a system that wasn't overly complex, simple to use, and beloved by fans. That was, for those unaware, meant to actually be introduced into Modern Warfare 3, where Sledgehammer really pushed for that and then were shut down by Infinity Ward not wanting that in an air-quote Modern Warfare game. It's cool to hear the round-based zombies return, as expected, but now in both 2024 and 2025, so awesome that zombies fans are going to be eating good these next few years. Movement changes, I'm curious as to what that will entail because we just truly don't know. Beyond that, the mentioned scale of the change of the project might be something that sounds a bit bad or scary to some, but if I can rebuttal, this actually might not be the same sort of thing we're used to. If we already had a handful of maps planned for 2025, if it was already planned to be Black Ops 2 remastered maps to some degree, we already had zombie stuff planned, the only thing that would really change in that theory then would be campaign, right? I mean, if, as reported, Treyarch had at the time of release 4 years to prep and develop with a full 2-year plan intact from the beginning, nothing should have theoretically deviated too much from their plans. If you're already planning to create 2 years of multiplayer content, 2 years of zombies content, the campaign change is the really only thing that sounds like it would be messed about with, where you'd have to then go and change the writing for maybe a Gulf War Year 2 versus a 2030 near futuristic title. That's the only stuff that seems to be potentially messed about with. And when it comes to development, it's not like they lost 4 years of dev time on 2025. That stuff is linear. If we're seeing 4 years to work on 2 titles, obviously 2024 comes first and then the secondary year is followed up on. So to me, it sounds like no different than when a team works on content seasons or past DLCs. For those unaware, teams are usually 2 to 3 seasons, 2 to 3 DLC packs ahead of any content that's live at that time, at any given time. Best example that always stuck with me all these years later is at my first DLC event that I went to. I sat down with Jason Blundell to talk about the developmental stuff behind the scenes because I was just fascinated with that at the time. But this was for Black Ops 3 DLC DLC 2, where he was explaining how at that point, DLC 2 wasn't even out yet. They were then at that time finalizing the last parts of the fourth and final DLC of the year. So that hasn't deviated at all in all the years that I've chatted with developers since. That's the sort of same mantra that they carry throughout that developmental timeline per se. And third thing to expand upon is the returning protagonist. If it is a direct sequel here, obviously it follows Black Ops 2 and that storyline that did set up the next gaps of what we see between Black Ops 2 and what is Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 is a prequel for Black Ops 3. We'll touch on that in a second a little bit more. But personally, I'd love to see the original crew return. Get Rich McDonald as David Mason again. They'd have to retcon the canon ending, but it'd be awesome to see Michael Rooker again. Get Sam Worthington and James C. Burns in there as the original tag team. Mason and Woods again as the old men they were at the end of Black Ops 2. There's a lot of stuff that I think you could do, and it'd be awesome to see some returning faces here at this. But to sort of take it in a larger scale in terms of implications, obviously, number one, I love that we get a direct sequel to Black Ops 2. Personally, to date, that's my favorite COD game ever, for so many different reasons. Storyline-wise, the multiple endings, the near-future setting, the multiplayer experience, the DLC, the weaponry, the league play, which sure has since had better iterations. Absolutely understand that, but I grinded that non-stop back in the day when I wasn't a washed-up gamer. Still get to hold that sort of bragging rights of like Masters Rank 1 for a legitimate whole season, I think it was. In a time when most divisions, when people reached those ranks, it was just booting people offline or lag switching. Plus, the zombies was incredible too. For me, it was like that perfect era where you didn't need too much prior knowledge. It was straightforward gameplay. It still had a lot of open prospects for where the story could go. And it was just, the entire package was chef's kiss. Incredible. Anyways, loved Black Ops 2, so I'm stoked to see where they maybe slot the campaign in there narratively. Again, the nice part about now shifting maybe to the near future is that we do have another massive gap between storylines. I mean, as we mentioned, Black Ops 4 was that prequel set in 2040, and Black Ops 3 was set in 2065. So plenty of time to fill the gaps here with more relevant Black Ops stories, as we're starting to fill the gaps between Black Ops in the 60s and Black Ops 2 in 2025. Cold War in the 80s, Gulf War in the 90s with the upcoming title. And then the biggest implication I think here is that, I don't know if this is just me with a hot take or not, but I think this will help to keep the game fresh even after 2 years under the same Black Ops umbrella, not having a direct sequel to a Black Ops Gulf War Year 2. What I mean by that must first be prefaced by me saying that yes, I do think that Modern Warfare 3 DLC arguments are absolutely valid. It's the same game in tons of aspects, from core gameplay designs and UI, sharing assets, whatever argument you have, listen, I get it. I agree with a lot of them. I'm personally Modern Warfare 3 over Modern Warfare 2 all day, any day, because as I've said before, Modern Warfare 3 was that feedback myself and so many others shared with Infinity Ward back in February of 2022, all rolled into one project, whereas Infinity Ward disregarded all of that. So this was the game that I had hoped Modern Warfare 2 would have been, but it wasn't. Feelings of being jaded by a developer and not having faith in another project after that is entirely valid. Not wanting to pay for a game that could have been an air quote update is totally valid. I'm on your side with a lot of that stuff. I personally both appreciate that we finally have a game that I wanted, even if it was developed in a last second 16-month scramble that relied on the last project, but also recognize the fairness in calling that out. So with that in mind, I think that this new rumor of a Gulf War game next year in 2024, then a direct sequel of Black Ops 2 in 2025, I think that maybe helps to alleviate some of the negative press that may be inevitable with another 2-year sort of sequel project. Here's the thing. There's plenty of valid criticisms from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3 over what we just mentioned, but a change in setting I think would have made the game at least feel a bit different. Great example recently, Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2019. Vanguard did not get the proper developmental time. That's been reported many, many times, so they built what was familiar to them and what they could progress in-house, see World War II, the last Sledgehammer project before Vanguard, and then mix that with the engine they were being told to switch to, see Modern Warfare 2019. So you merge those two together and you got a game that felt like Modern Warfare 2019 in some aspects, had the same UI, slightly adjusted movement mechanics, similar TTK, same streak elements, and more, but in a World War II setting. Mechanically, it may have felt similar, but settings-wise, it was different. Maybe enough for some people, maybe not, but I feel like that's kind of the similar case with what Black Ops 2025 can be, since there won't be that gap year in games. But being that it's back-to-back Black Ops games, like we have right now with back-to-back Modern Warfare games, the difference is not a genuine sequel from one to the other. I don't know, maybe I'm talking nonsense, but I just think that there's that potential to feel a bit more refreshed in a year or two of Black Ops 2025 as opposed to a Gulf War 2 in 2025, picking up right where that 2024 campaign leaves off, because I kind of feel like that's where we are with Modern Warfare 3. I think that if there would have been a gap year between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, it would have been received way differently, probably in a better light if you ask me, and plus there'd be more time for Sledgehammer to develop the game even more, which may have given it even more time to end up being different. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like that refresh of a setting might just be enough breath of fresh air for the project to feel different enough. I don't know, maybe again, that's just a hot take, but anyways, that's the new report here with Call of Duty 2025, and it seems like we have a lot up on deck here that we can look forward to in regards to learning more about. Again, whether or not it's your cup of tea, that's entirely subjective, but it sounds like we have another 2-year slate of Call of Duty coming that may have the situation we have right now, but perhaps acted upon better. I guess we'll see in time, but anyways, that is where we're at. So that is where we're gonna call it. Before we wrap everything up though, for a short window of time here, Gamer Advantage is a site-wide 25% off discount where code Espresso can stack to give you 35% off your entire order. One of the best discounts of the year so far, but if you guys wanna check it out, I firmly believe they're the best blue light glasses on the market, so now is as best a time as any. I've worked with these guys for nearly 3 years now and cannot recommend them enough. They're the most lightweight, comfortable, and durable frames out there, and truly I think they've helped my daily productivity. Full transparency, yes, they are a bit of an investment, but I think your vision's absolutely worth investing into, especially if you're like me that looks at a monitor, phone, or games for a large chunk of the day. If you guys would like to learn more, at the very least, I'd recommend checking out their site to where they can better break down the science and all the specifics way better than I could, but I can personally say that I'd highly recommend them. If you guys want to learn more, check the link in the description below, and if you want to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso to get 35% off your entire order. But that said, that is what we're going to call it, so let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this report here for COD 2024 and 2025? Are you looking forward to the next 2 years upcoming? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Call of Duty and other FPS content here on the channel. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.